Are power sale listings way up in Toronto? Well, we're going to dig into some live stats. And in fact, I don't even know what they are. We're going to pull them together and then we're going to jump into our MLS system here in Toronto and see what's what, see if we are actually ahead of last year. I know if you go down that if you go down that Twitter world, you will see everyone's posting about power sales. We're going to look at that right after this intro. Yes, my friends. Yes, my friends. Power sale properties. What is what? We're going to see what's going on. First of all, thank you for all those who have been reaching out to me. Even a lot of colleagues, a lot of fellow realtors have been reaching out to me over the last several weeks because our market is certainly shifting right now. We're going through a change. And of course, just a couple of weeks ago, we had an interest rate announcement here in Canada. And how has that affected the Toronto real estate market? Well, significantly might be too strong of a word, but it certainly has affected it. And if you look at my video from a week or so ago, we looked at the number of showings and how the number of showings has gone way down. Of course, it's going to be down over the weekend because we're entering Canada Day weekend, long weekend here. So don't expect too many showings over the weekend, and sales numbers are going to be down. So look for next week. Those showings will probably come back up. And of course, because we're at the end of the month, we'll be able to do a full market report on June. But June's going to have two sides to the story, though. It's going to have the first week of June and then the last 3 weeks of June. It's going to look entirely different. Okay, power sales. And in fact, my business colleague, my business partner here out of our brokerage has reached out to me because he has a number of power sale properties that he's going to be listing. So watch out for that, as I'll be supporting him in that and sharing some of those listings with you guys, my viewers. But what's really going on? Are the numbers higher than last year? Are we ahead of last year with number of power sales? How many power sales? You know, we're probably going to see a lot of reports from the news outlets saying power sale properties, the listings have shot up 200, 300%. Yet we know in Canada, the power sale properties compared to foreclosures in the States is entirely different. The scale of economy, one, is different, but two, we just don't have a lot of power sale properties going to market because that's just not something that happens here too often. Yet, everyone likes to focus on it, so it feels like a lot. So I'm gonna share with you. Perhaps we're going from 200 or 300 properties to maybe 400. So that's always, that's obviously up. Or are we going in 1 month? We're going from 100 properties, which is a lot, to 200, and that's 100% increase. And those are the articles or the headlines that you're going to see come out over the next several weeks from a lot of people. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into our live MLS system. I'm going to share my screen as we do. So here's how we're going to keep track of it. We're going to enter the numbers in here and see what's what. But let's look at the live MLS system. This is the system that we use to track and view all of the listings in Toronto Real Estate Board. This is how I do it. And I actually keep track on power sales. So right here, and we're going to click on that and we're going to do some fine tuning in here. So as you can see, the top right hand corner, we have 141 current listings. Now that's not really fair because if I zoom out, you'll see that number increases to about 163. But of course, there's a lot of properties outside of the geographic area of Toronto. And we're going to focus in on Toronto, Peel, Durham, York, and a little bit of Simcoe region and see what's what. But currently, including all property types from vacant land to commercial buildings, there's 163 listings. And if you want access to any of this, shoot me a message and I can certainly get you access to those properties and to end this list here. So let's fine tune this a little bit. First thing we're going to do, let's just look at Toronto and see what's going on in Toronto here. And we're going to look at what has sold. So this, first of all, this is what is currently listed. And right now in Toronto, all property types, condos, vacant land, if there were any in Toronto, there's 39 listings in Toronto. But let's just fine tune that a little bit because we don't want to look at commercial. That's not a fair representation. So we're down to 29 listings already. That's currently listed on the market. But let's see what's sold. let's see what's sold since the beginning of the year. And we're going to flip that. We're going to look at that and we'll start recording this here. So we are going to, let me change this to unavailable. Here we go. Again, we're doing this live and we want to make sure that, is what the media is saying right? Are we following the right numbers? So currently, let's just back this up a little bit. We're going to go to January 1st to today's date, and we're going to see what has sold since then. So we have 85 properties in Toronto that have sold this year. So let's record that. So that's this year. That's 85. We're going to put that in there. We're going to keep track. Now we're going to compare year to date this year to all of last year and see what's going on there. What's next here? So that was Toronto. Let's look at Peel next. I'm going to change this to Peel. Let's move that away and change that to Peel and see what's going on here. And you'll see our map update here in just a minute. So Peel, we have 43 properties that have sold, and we're going to put that in here and keep moving along. Let's do York Region next. Let's change that to York Region and see what's going on. I like doing this live because I don't have any pre-notions of what's happening here. You're getting this live for me. There's 33 properties have sold this year in Peel, and we're going to look at Durham next. See what's happening in Durham. And you might be asking, Gary, have you bought and sold power sale properties? And I have, not only for clients, but for myself as well. One of our first, second, third investment properties that we ever bought was actually a power sale property, and we renovated it. And we held that property for 3 or 4 years and then sold it after it was renovated, and we had tenants in it. So 27 properties here in Durham. So that's again for this year. And we're going to look at Simcoe. Simcoe will be a low number as well. Let's see what's going on in the Simcoe region. And then we'll look at last year's numbers and see what's happening there. What do we got here? Is it updates? 19 properties in Simcoe. Now, what you have to know with Simcoe is a lot of Simcoe, it actually encompasses 2 different real estate boards. So it also encompasses the Barrie Real Estate Board. But for the sake of just taking some notes here, we'll keep it on track with Toronto Real Estate Board. I've already forgot that number. 19. We'll put that number in here. So there you have it. Let's add this up here and see what that adds up to. Where's my button here? There we are. So 207 properties in total. So let's make that a little easier to see here, and we'll go from there. 207 properties. There we go. Now, that's year to date. So 207 power sale properties have sold year to date on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Okay. All right. Let's look at all of last year. So we're going to clear off these dates here. And in fact, I can just do it like this. And then we're going to do last year's date. There we go. December 31st, and we're starting in Peel. So this is 23 for all of last year, and you can see we're already at 19 this year for Peel. Let's start at the back of the top here. We'll go back to Toronto and change that over here, and we'll see what's going on here. So that's interesting with Peel. Toronto, we have 111 properties all of last year sell, and we are already at 85. So you can see that definitely the trend is we are moving faster than we did last year with power sale properties. Peel, as expected. What happened here? Oh, it must have not have taken that. Peel. Peel region had 50 properties all of last year. And where are we this year? Already at 50 properties, excuse me. And we're already at 43. York region. Flip that over. York region, we're sitting at 35 properties. Where were we last year? 35, almost at the exact same. Wow. Durham region. All right. Let's see what's going on in Durham region, folks. Durham region's at 27, and we have already we've already tied what we did last year this year. So that's impressive from that perspective. And so we're gonna add all these up. 246 properties. We're not that far off of where we were last year, which is as to be expected from everything that we're hearing in the news and what the banks are telling us. So there's our two numbers. Let's make that easier to see. So last year we did 246 power sale properties, excluding commercial, and this year we're at 207 properties, and we're only halfway through the year, in a sense, which give us. Let's look right now. I already forget the number. I want to see how many current properties there are for sale. Let's just go over to here and see how many current power sale properties there are on the market here, and we'll let this update in just a second here. Done. Oh, what's that? Let me back out of here and we'll go back in and look at it. Power sale properties, because I want to see how many current listings. I want to remind ourselves how many current listings we have that are power sale properties in all of Toronto. So I'm gonna put in a few locations here. So bear with me, because we want the area of Toronto. We want Peel. We want York region. We want Durham. And last week we had Simcoe. So currently, looking at freehold, condos, in freeholds, condos, and other types of properties, excluding commercial in Toronto, Peel, York, Durham, and Simcoe, you can see we're sitting at 97 current listings. So just that alone, of course, if no other power sale properties were listed, we would hit 306 properties sold if all of those sold by the end of the year. And I can tell you, one of my business partners has a number of power sale properties from one of the lenders that they work with coming to market this year over the next 2 quarters. So we're certainly going to increase that. So as you can see here, if we hit 346 properties for 2023, that is a significant, that's over 100 properties more, and that is a significant increase versus last year. And that's approximately about a 40% increase in power sale properties. So that's going to highlight and grab some attention from readers and things like that. So you can see power sale properties are moving a lot faster this year, or they're coming to market. And what we're seeing, if I looked at all of those listings that we have here, and if I pull who is selling those properties, I know for a fact that very few of them, or the minority, probably less than 10% of those properties would be the big 5 banks. A lot of the listings are coming from your private equity funds that are handing out mortgages, your B and C lenders that are handing out mortgages. There's going to be a few, as I said, probably less than 10% that are coming from your Scotia banks, your BMOs of the world, but the majority of them are your private lending funds that are coming and triggering that power sale. And then the other thing that'll be interesting to know, and perhaps we'll look at it in a different video, is when did that purchaser buy the property? Was it during this latest boom? Was it something 3, 4, 5 years ago? I know some of the properties that people have purchased in the last 12 to 36 months are on a variable rate mortgage, and of course those rates have changed dramatically and they're underwater, and we've got lenders that are pulling the trigger and doing and forced into power sale on that. So we'll keep our eyes on that. It's always neat to dive into this information live, as I just did, and I learned along with you guys. Appreciate it. Feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. Put it in the notes below. But power sale properties, that is a thing that's happening right now. It's kind of a buzzword. Let's keep peeling that onion away. And we do have a number of power sale properties coming to the market in the near future. So reach out to me if you want to be top of that list to get that information and those listings. There's the information. Go get it. There you have it. We'll see everybody in the next video. Goodbye for now.